Hey guys, um, I'm here the day before I ship out, and if you watch my previous video, you can understand how grateful I am to be sitting here about to ship out to boot camp tomorrow. And I just wanted y'all to understand some of the things that I had to go through to get to this point, and I hope this video helped you in your journey, as well as people try to help me in mine. First, I'd like to give a shout out to the person who supported me through all of it, Denisha Morris. She's been really helpful, encouraging, and you're always going to need someone like that near your side to help you through the bad and help you get through some of the things that you just can't go through alone. So I'm gonna get started. So if y'all watched my previous video, y'all know at the time I had problems going through MEPS. At the time, 2 years ago in January, I didn't get in the branch I wanted to because of I failed the hearing test. I did everything I could to get everything fixed, to get me back into MEPS to get my hearing test redone. And unfortunately, it been a lot of roadblocks in that journey. First I applied for the Air Force, and they permanently disqualified me from every branch. I didn't let that discourage me. So at the time I was in the waiver process. I waited maybe 45 business days, a little less than that, to try to get, that approval, and it never came. I got denied. Then I tried again with other branches, and they just wouldn't let me go back to MEPS. Finally, I joined the police academy in Baltimore, and I didn't like it. I'm not saying you won't if you decide to do that. If you're watching this video, I didn't like it. And at the time, I was thinking to myself, like, this is not for me. I need to try again. Try again for the Navy. My dad was Navy. He always encouraged me to do Navy. And I tried doing it back when I was in Kansas, but they shut the door in my face. So I was kind of like, maybe I should go ahead and try another branch. But my dad kept being persistent, like I was being persistent on trying to join. He tried Navy. My Navy crew first said to me, it was like, it's not our job to determine whether or not you are qualified. It's our job to try to get you qualified. And so I took that, and I was thinking to myself, I ain't gonna get too excited because, I know how I've been denied, and eventually, hearing no. So I was surprised when the recruiter told me I was going to MEPS. That was just a hard thing to accomplish, just going back. And I went back September of last year, and I passed the hearing test. Doctors, they clapped for me and everything. I was so excited. They told me I'm shipping out, when I got my job and everything. And I waited my months, and now I'm here today. Before I get into that, I had to go back to MEPS again last week because my physical expired from the 2 years ago. So be mindful of that. Like, if you did your physical a long time ago, you probably won't have to go back because it does expire after 2 years. So some of y'all who didn't get in, maybe 2 years down the road, you may qualify to go back to MEPS because of the fact that my physical expired and I had to do the whole process over last week. And I had to do the hearing test, the eye exam, everything. When I went back in September, I just did the hearing test. But just to keep that in mind, if y'all really want to be hopeful. But I'm gonna give you a little recap. I didn't get in at first. I waited every waiver process I can think of, and eventually, I kept hearing no, and I just kept trying, and I eventually got in, and me not having really anything wrong in my history, it made it a little bit smooth. So I advise you, don't give up, because you never know, And I'm sitting here in the hotel today, and having this video because I think a lot of people wants to know, like, what are some of the things what goes through your mind when you finally hear that good news. And at first you're kind of nervous, but I feel like you you're more excited than nervous, and you kind of won't take it for granted, and please don't. And so, I mean, that's kind of like what my mindset was when I heard the good news. And fast forwarding to that, preparing to ship out, preparing to ship out, um, it's you gotta learn the basics. I learned a lot of the basics already. I mean, how to parade, rest, and you know, do all the military kind of style things. You know, saying for me, chief instead of saying sir, that kind of stuff. Knowing your century, 11 general orders, and also learning, you know, the sailor's creed and everything. And for your branch, its own. Don't take it for granted, because when we go to boot camp, I feel like they really gonna single you out, and I mean, they can single you out. I mean, I feel like they would know who study and who don't. So study. Make sure you study. Also, practice. Just practice some of the stuff. Look online. Practice a lot of things you may need to know. For me, I mean, I had to practice how to say my general orders out loud, because I really don't like talking out loud. So I had to practice that, and I also had to practice remembering off the top of my head what general orders say, if they say what's 5 or what's 6. So practice that stuff too, and knowing your ranks. The important thing is knowing your ranks too. Knowing your ranks, you'll probably get through a lot smoother because you'll know how to address people. And that's kind of like, you know, some of the things that I had to pick up on, and also learning what things are called. You know, like a fountain is not called fountain, and a ceiling is not called ceiling. Downstairs ain't called downstairs for military. And like I said, for each branch its own. But you don't learn on the way. I feel like if you had to go through what I go through, you won't take it for granted. Take it for granted. Sorry. This video, I really don't have all that much to say, because I'm about to go to boot camp, so I will have things to say afterwards, and I can't wait to, you know, have my uniform and everything. But like I said, if you really saw my previous video, you'll know, like, kind of like what some of us have to go through to get to where we at today. And I'm just here to say, keep your head up. I always keep your head up. When I was going through it, I knew that, you know, if this didn't work out, I had to have a plan B. And a lot of us need that plan B, because the plan B could be that bridge that you need to get to plan A. And that's what I did. And I mean, honestly, I don't want to be no police officer, you know, and I never wanted to be a police officer, but I buckled down knowing like I had to go through this to get to what I need to get to in the long run, you know. So don't sit back and just try and like wait it out, because sometimes you have to wait longer than what a lot of others have to wait. But always have that plan B. Make sure you secure, and always, like my crew told me this morning, don't burn your bridges. Make sure you always have a good influence on the people around you, because they can be the ones to help you out. For me, I didn't really have no one to help me out other than my recruiter and the support I had to get me to where I am today. It took a lot of me getting, you know, the information I need to make me look good for the military. Like, I had failed the hearing test. I had literally had to go through a lot of hearing exams to like get to that point where I actually know what I'm doing when I'm in the hearing booth, and also showing the good results. I mean, I feel like that right there, when I showed the results that I had good hearing, it pushed me through for the Navy. I'm not going to say every branch, but for the Navy, it pushed me through to go back to maps, because they looked at it and it was like, okay, this guy's risk taking. You know, I'm trying to say is this guy's worth, you know, bringing in, looking at him, seeing if everything is good. If not, then, you know, well, at least he tried, you know. So they brought me in and I succeeded, and they was happy that I succeeded. You know, no one here isn't going to wish that you fail, even though it may feel that way. So, you know, if you have any questions, please comment down below. I always reply. I won't be able to, because obviously I'm being boot camp, and you know, but look at my previous video. A lot of people asking questions and everything. in regards to like what they needed to do to get to basically where, you know, a lot of people are where they want to be. And there's other videos out there to help you as well. But like I said, keep your head up. The point of this video is for me to tell you to keep your head up, keep trying, and you will succeed if you really want it. If you really want it, you will succeed, because in your mind you'll know what you need to do to get to where you need to be. You know, and that could be short term or long term. Regardless, you will know what you need to do to succeed. And I feel like if you keep that mindset, there's no one to hold you back. Yes, it's a yes or no question at the end of the day, but at the same time, it's kind of like when the ball's in your court, you better make the best of it, because when you make the best of it, at least you know, and the Lord know, that you gave it your all. And I couldn't walk home upset at that point, knowing I gave my all, knowing that if I got put in that booth again and I gave it my best shot, when I walk out, I mean, I ain't gonna say nothing negative, but like, man, you know me, like I would have gave it my all in that booth, and I would walked out knowing I passed. And I had to do that several times. I went in that booth 4 times, maybe 3 times, 3 or 4 times, man. And every time I came out, except that first time, I passed. So, you know, good luck to y'all, and I wish y'all the best. Signing off.